Welcome back to Wakeboarding Unleashed. This is Level 7, Venice.
I haven't been to Venice, but I'd really like to go.
And since this is Venice, I am able to put on my Italian accent for this video.
Boppity boopity.
Because I have become suddenly Italian.
Suddenly Italian.
Did you know that I actually am a 1/20th Italian or so?
How'd you get to that 1/5 in there?
And so I am able to use this accent, and somehow I have gone from Italian to Saudi Arabian.
That's a really bad Saudi Arabian accent.
It was a really bad
Italian accent. Yeah.
But
I'm a little confused how you got that 1/5 in there.
no, 1/20th.
Right, 1/20th, that's 1/4 times 1/5. I can see how you got the 1/4. Those are grandparents, but then at a certain point, one of your grandparents, all of your grandparents had to have 5 grandparents. All of them.
At some point, one of the 20 people in my family tree was in this fictional version of where I'm not actually Italian. Maybe I am. I don't know.
Where are your parents from?
Parents, American. I don't really want to go into my whole family tree. How do people get their massive family trees? I mean,
genealogy.com or whatever it is.
Oh.
I can't do that because I'm brown and they don't keep track of brown people.
I mean, but so anyone can do it. There's not
me.
There's not a person whose grandparents were just you know what? I don't care about family trees. I'm not gonna put my info in this shit.
No. Most of the time, it's not like they put you don't put your info in. You put your info in to look it up, but they're looking at census data and stuff like that, where people move and stuff. But they don't have my parents came over from India, so they won't have any information on my grandparents, and my grandparents have very little information on their grandparents because back then, in India, you don't really. They say living with your family or whatever, but they don't keep track of all this information. So I don't ask my grandparents about their grandparents, and they didn't ask their grandparents about their grandparents. So the line pretty much stops at my grandparents or my parents' grandparents, because my dad kind of remembers his grandpa, but he's dead. Not my dad. My dad is alive. My dad's dad and his dad are both dead. Mostly.
But then there are those people who are I can trace myself all the way back to Genghis Khan or something. What if you're saying that in all those generations, there's no one down that line who's you know what? I'm just
gonna adopt.
I'm just gonna stay on a farm in I don't know, Croatia and live my life. You know,
and not have children. That's the whole point of.
But there weren't censuses then. Maybe I'm just not really thinking about it. But
I think it's easier to trace yourself to Genghis Khan because Genghis Khan, they say that he what's the statistic? It's 1/5 of men or something are related to Genghis Khan or something, or 1/5 of people. I don't know, because of Genghis Khan's incredible ability to make it the sex all over the world. Yeah, and then I don't know, people who are related to founding fathers and stuff, they say they're descendants of Jefferson. I'm sure they probably kept track of their lineage, because it's hey, my dad helped found a country. I'm gonna write down that fact and then tell my kids, your grandpa helped found a country, helped found a country, and then their kids are my great-grandfather, blah, 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 and then it went on and on like that. Oh, the sun is in my eyes. I have to hold up this delicious can of Dr. Pepper Cherry with only 160 calories. Never mind.
I thought you were raising your glass to Thomas Jefferson, or raising your can of soda.
Everybody,
raise your cans in the air.
Right, raise your cans. We miss you, TJ.
Rip.
Yeah, rip, dog, rip. Rimgle. Yeah, Rimgle.
So,
rolling in. I guess it'd be
rolling in my grave laughing.
Yeah, instead of raffle rolling on the floor laughing, instead it's rolling in my grave laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's that funny. It's got to be so funny. that you from the dead continue. You're not even
laughing.
just like Ghostface Killer. He's not even dead, but he's a ghost. I mean, you remember that episode of the Boondocks?
Yeah,
that was
remember that
awesome,
one.
dude. I
What?
want to go watch that show again. Do you think it's on Netflix?
Probably.
I don't think so.
Maybe we should just do a commentary that's just us watching the Boondocks episode and laughing.
Yeah.
It's just like, what the hell is
Squeeze it.
So, is this a pretty good representation of Venice? We'll move after this video. You can't even see anything.
I can kind of see, and I saw the video earlier, and it's I don't know. I haven't been to Venice, but I think they probably widened the canals. But besides that, like to make it easier, but and there's obviously less people than in real life.
Yeah, it's another ghost town.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty much like
Post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, it's pretty much like. Oh, also speaking of which, I mentioned your whole post-apocalyptic game idea. Wait, you had the movie and I had the game, right? Yeah.
Maybe,
All right.
I don't know.
So I mentioned the whole post-apocalyptic idea in the thread, and I was like, "Can anyone give me any examples?" And apparently, you know, the Skate series.
Yeah.
Apparently, they made a game for the Wii only. It's called Skate It. And apparently, the city, like, got hit by a disaster or something, and then skaters go in to try to make the most awesome skateboarding tape using the ruined city.
What the fuck?
But that might just be an excuse by the developers, because since it was the Wii, they weren't able to put any other people in.
Still, what the
But
fuck?
their explanation was that it was a ghost town because everyone else moved out after the disaster.
I should hope they moved out before the disaster. You know, that's just my inner bleeding heart pussyism. By the way, we had a friend of ours. He moved at the end of high school to Kentucky, and we told everyone in high school that he was moving to the Democratic Republic of Congo, and a lot of people believed us for some reason that he was moving there, and he had to deal with a lot of questions about why his father was moving to the Democratic Republic of Congo, and whether he was going to need to learn how to shoot a gun, and
Yeah, he became a drug lord in our fictional
yeah.
version, but
a lot of people believed us and thought he actually did deal drugs and stuff. It was pretty awesome. And so he recently, just for a few days, came back, and he works as a paramedic down in Kentucky. And he told me that apparently he was working and...
oh god, the legend followed him, didn't it?
No. Well, maybe. I don't know. But apparently he heard, while he's a paramedic, he heard doctors talking. And on two separate occasions, he heard doctors refer to something that they call Depressionism. Like it's a school of thought. Like, I'm sorry, I don't do that. I'm a depressionist. What the fuck is Depressionism?
It's an art form where your only emotion while painting is your depression.
Sad. Yeah, you're just you're depressed, but that's also, you believe in being depressed.
Yeah.
Depressionism.
Speaking of sad, I think we missed it in the video, but there's a trick in this game called sad air.
Yeah, it's just like you get mad air, but then you're just not feeling it that day. Like, you're just like, dude, that was awesome. I guess.
You go off the jump and you're just like, I'll grab my board.
I guess.
Yeah, I'll do it. And so I want to become a wakeboarder, and I want to make a move called great, just called great, great air.
Yeah. Great.
Or big.
Big. Yes.
Got big air, tweaked big air.
What if you just called it air? Like, you just called your trick air. Like, you get air, you get air time, right? And then you do the trick air while you're in the air, and it's like a really complicated trick, and they're just like, he just did air, and it's like, don't you mean he just got air? No, he did air. Like, he was in the air and he did air. I don't think you understand. And it's like, what are you talking about? How could he do air? Confusion
across the board.
Yeah, across the board. Nice.
Oh, great.
puns.
So I was thinking about it, and does anyone else remember the game Hydro Thunder? Because that had a Venice level, which sucked dick.
I think I remember Hydro Thunder, actually.
I remember about half of Hydro
Didn't
Thunder.
Hydro Thunder have... Maybe I'm thinking of a different game. What were the games that, like, in arcades there was the one that you sat on the, like, fake jet ski or whatever. Like, you go to Chuck E. Cheese and they'd have one of those things. What was that game?
I don't think that was Hydro Thunder. That might have been, like... Was Jet Moto an arcade game? I don't remember. There were tons of, like, really kind of shitty, bland...
You know what's one really shitty arcade game that I remember?
What?
I don't remember what it was called, but it was that one where, like, you were riding on a bicycle and, like, there was, like, a fucking balloon attached to it. It was, like, some... Do you remember this? Like,
No.
It's like you got, like, a massive balloon and the bicycle, like, it's got, like, a fan on it and you're, like, flying through canyons and shit, but it was a really crappy game. And I can't remember for the life of me what it was called. People! What was it called?
I don't remember, but anyway, yeah, Hydro Thunder in arcades. It had a Venice level, which was really bad because you had to make a whole bunch of 90-degree turns. But then I remembered it had a Lake Powell level as well. Lake Powell was the first area we went in this game, and it had a ruined city level as well, just like the Springfield level. So that led me to come up with Insectic's maybe 7th law or something, which is that games that take place on water have a very, very small pool of possible settings they could...
So you were saying they have a small group.
Yeah, actually, I don't know if that's Aesthetics law or something. It's just something I noticed. But yeah, there's maybe only one of 6 or 8 possible
By the way,
places.
a few days ago, Anderson Cooper cited one of your laws. He didn't cite it by name, but he said, you know, every time you want the mics to work, they don't work. And then when you don't think they're working, they're on. Like,
But did he go, and then when you finally bitch about the mics not working, they suddenly work?
he didn't use the word bitch.
But is that what he was getting at?
Yeah, that was what he was
Like the mics weren't working, and then when
he was fiddling with it.
when he pointed that out, then suddenly the mics started working.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
All right, that's Insectic's 3rd law. Again, seriously, should be taught in schools.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure that it is taught in schools.
We'll join the school board. You teaching, you can force that, and I'll force. I don't know. I'll probably just be like a swing vote on there. I'll just sit there and be like, eh. I'll just be pulling sad votes.
Sad votes.
Yeah, it's like a trick. Sad votes.
I don't feel like reading this ballot, so I'm just gonna grab it.
Abstain. Whatever. I don't care.
Hydro Thunder was so hard. Like, I remember there was a grease level, and I couldn't get past it. Like,
Do you have it?
I might still for N64. Speaking of N64, so just in Blank Tester and I's group of friends, you know, all over the break, we've been playing more N64 games, and one of them that we tried to play again was Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racer. And I've come to the conclusion that anyone under 15 is amazing at the game, and anyone over 15 cannot play it.
Wait. Who played it who was under 15?
Every kid ever.
Oh, no, I thought you meant, like, yesterday. Everybody.
Oh, no. Like, anyone who's a kid has godlike reflexes of the game and has fond memories of it, and anyone who tries to play it again is like, oh my god, I can't go in a straight line.
I swear to God, you're going it. I thought he was exaggerating when he handed me the controller. He was like, you can't go in a straight line. Don't bother trying. And I was like, I'm sure I have finer hands than Insectic. I can do this. And then I tried, and I was like, oh my god, I'm swerving all over the fucking road. And I'm going at like 850 miles an hour in this tiny little gap. And then it's just like, hey, guess what? Here's some moving obstacles. I'm like, oh god! And like half my engine's just blowing off, and I'm like, wait, so I'm not gonna die now, I'm gonna die later, and there's nothing I can do about it. This sucks! There's no power-ups or anything, there's nothing I can do about it. Like, this, it was so it was frustrating, but hilarious, especially since Tinker was playing with us, and Tinker owns the game, and he was the one we were playing his copy, and he has he has a pretty good memory of the tracks, and so it was him versus me, and it was like neck and neck, 3 laps, 3.5 minute laps, because it was such a long thing. Anyway, I'm going way over the time. Yeah,
We can continue that next time.
What's the next level?
It's another like competition level. This time we're going to the Delta for some wakeboarding magazine again, I think.
Wait, the Delta or like the Nile Delta, or what kind of Delta?
No, just like Florida and Delta or something. You'll see. Okay. Join us next time.